On the 19th to the 20th of October 1917, the largest fleet of what attempted and mostly failed to attack the UK? Airships. This refers to the silent raid of the 19th to the 20th of October 1917, which was the largest German Zeppelin raid against Britain during World War I. Despite the scale of the attack, it proved largely ineffective due to adverse weather conditions, navigational errors, and improving British air defences, resulting in significant losses for the German airship fleet. The Grand Bazaar, said to be the world's largest covered market, is in which city? Istanbul. The Grand Bazaar in Istanbul, Turkey, is one of the oldest and largest covered markets in the world, renowned for its labyrinthine streets and thousands of shops. It has been a significant trading hub since its construction began in the 15th century, playing a crucial role in the city's economic and cultural life. What is a person called who is unappreciative or hostile towards the arts, derived from an ancient race depicted in the Bible as great enemies of Israel? Philistine. The term Philistine refers to a person who is hostile or indifferent to culture, arts, and intellectual pursuits. Its origin traces back to the ancient Philistines, a people often depicted as enemies of the Israelites in the Old Testament, from whom the derogatory modern usage of the word evolved. The Reverend Thomas A. Dorsey is linked with the origins of what musical singing style? Gospel. Reverend Thomas A. Dorsey, often regarded as the father of gospel music, was instrumental in developing the distinct style of black gospel music in the early 20th century. He blended Christian praise with the rhythms and blues of jazz, creating a powerful and influential musical genre. The natural basic form of the spice ginger, Zanjibar officinale, is a rhizome. A rhizome is a modified underground stem that grows horizontally, from which roots and shoots can develop. Ginger, Zanjibar officinale, is a classic example of a plant whose edible and commercially valuable part is its rhizome, allowing it to propagate vegetatively. Said to be the most natural unit of time, what is typically defined as the period of rotation of the Earth relative to any selected heavenly body? Day. A day is fundamentally defined as the period of Earth's rotation, determining the cycle of light and darkness. Specifically, a sidereal day is the time taken for the Earth to complete one rotation relative to distant stars, while a solar day is the time taken for the Sun to reappear at the same meridian. What foodstuff, meaning fat liver, in French, is made from the liver of a duck or goose fattened traditionally by force feeding? Foie gras. Foie gras, a French delicacy, literally translates to fat liver, and is produced from the liver of a duck or goose that has been specially fattened. This product is prized for its rich, buttery texture and flavor, although its traditional production method raises ethical concerns. Where on the female body is a snood worn? Head, neck. A snood is a type of hairnet or fabric bag worn over the back of the head, often to hold the hair in place. Historically, snoods have been popular in various cultures and periods, serving both practical and decorative purposes, sometimes extending to cover part of the neck. The head of state in Italy is, at 2011, a president. Italy operates as a parliamentary republic where the president serves as the head of state. The president's role is primarily ceremonial and represents the unity of the nation, while the prime minister acts as the head of government. Conceived in 1999 in Melbourne, Australia, the annual month-long charity effort, Movember, raises awareness, funds for men's health issues, notably prostate and testicular cancer, involving the wearing of what? Mustaches. Movember is an annual global charity event during November where participants grow mustaches to raise awareness and funds for men's health issues, particularly prostate cancer, testicular cancer, and mental health. Originating in Australia in 1999, it has grown into a significant movement promoting conversations and research in this field. By what nickname is Venezuelan Ilich Ramirez Sanchez, born in October 1949 and imprisoned for life in France since 2011, known? Carlos the Jackal. Ilich Ramirez Sanchez, better known as Carlos the Jackal, is a Venezuelan terrorist who carried out multiple bombings, assassinations, and hostage-takings in Europe and the Middle East during the 1970s and 1980s. He was a prominent figure in international terrorism and was eventually captured and imprisoned in France. Canadian professor of management and psychology, Victor Vroom, established which theory? Expectancy theory. Victor Vroom's expectancy theory proposes that individuals choose to behave in certain ways based on their perception of the expected outcomes of their behavior. This motivational theory is fundamental in fields like organizational behavior and management. What is the full name of the United Nations Agency for Nuclear Technology, abbreviated as IAEA? International Atomic Energy Agency. The International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, is an autonomous international organization established in 1957. It works within the United Nations family to promote the safe, secure, and peaceful use of nuclear technologies and to prevent nuclear proliferation. What musical instrument has the nickname, the Devil's Box? Violin. The violin, renowned for its versatile and expressive sound, has been historically associated with the nickname, the Devil's Box, in various cultures and folklore. This often stemmed from its captivating ability to evoke strong emotions and its perceived power to influence the listener. The Observer is the Sunday edition of which UK daily newspaper? The Guardian. The Observer, first published in 1791, holds the distinction of being the world's oldest Sunday newspaper. Since 1993, it has been published as the Sunday sister paper of The Guardian, sharing editorial values and a common ownership under the Scott Trust. Vitreous enamel, used to decorate and protect pottery, metals, etc., is a form of which material? Glass. Vitreous enamel is a material created by fusing powdered glass to a substrate through firing, typically at high temperatures. This process results in a smooth, durable, chemically resistant, and often decorative coating used on various materials like metal, glass, or ceramics. From 2006 to 11 and ongoing, Giuliano Minini became infamous for alleged incompetence and recklessness in what role in Italy? Public prosecutor. Giuliano Minini is an Italian public prosecutor who gained international notoriety for his controversial role in high-profile cases, most notably the 2007 murder of Meredith Kercher and the subsequent trials of Amanda Knox and Raffaele Solicito. He faced significant criticism and accusations of prosecutorial misconduct during these proceedings. Rosina favela in Brazil is said to be the biggest what in Latin America? Slum. Rosina is one of the largest favelas in Brazil, situated in Rio de Janeiro, and is widely regarded as the biggest slum in Latin America. It is characterized by its high population density, informal housing, and significant socio-economic challenges, despite ongoing efforts for urban development and integration. What is Alexander Pope's 1688–1744 famous line from his poem An Essay on Criticism, written 1709, much used in books, film and music? Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. Alexander Pope was a prominent English poet of the Augustan age, known for his satirical and didactic verse. An Essay on Criticism is a didactic poem where he discusses the art of criticism and writing. The line, "Fools rush in where angels fear to tread," is a famous aphorism from this work, often quoted to advise caution and humility. What is the Irish handheld single-sided round drum, often played with a double-ended beater? Bodhrán. The bodhrán is a traditional Irish frame drum, typically played with a small wooden beater called a tipper or beater. It is a key instrument in traditional Irish music and is recognized for its unique sound and playing style. A diaspora is a dispersion of people. A diaspora refers to a dispersed population, often originating from a common homeland, who have spread across different geographical locations. This term is frequently used in the context of historical migrations, forced displacements, or voluntary movements of ethnic or religious groups. The Russian word nald in German, aufesh, refers to naturally occurring thicker than normal layers of what? Ice. Nald, also known as aufesh, is a naturally occurring formation of layered ice that results from the freezing of successive sheets of water. This phenomenon commonly occurs in Arctic and subarctic regions where water flows and refreezes, creating thick, accumulated ice layers, often observed in riverbeds or on land. What notable businessman is known as the Sage of Omaha? Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, a renowned American investor, business magnate, and philanthropist, is widely known as the Sage of Omaha. This nickname reflects his considerable wisdom and expertise in investment, as well as his lifelong residence in Omaha, Nebraska, where his company Berkshire Hathaway is headquartered. What seasonal name is most commonly given to the uprisings in the Middle East and North Africa, which began in Tunisia, December 2010? Arab Spring. The Arab Spring refers to a series of pro-democracy uprisings and protests that swept across the Middle East and North Africa starting in late 2010. These movements challenged long-standing authoritarian regimes, leading to significant political and social changes, and often resulting in civil conflicts and regime collapses in several countries. In Native American ceremonial custom, what is a calumet? Peace pipe. A calumet is a traditional ceremonial pipe used by various indigenous peoples of North America, often referred to as a peace pipe. It plays a crucial role in sacred rituals, diplomatic negotiations, and social gatherings, symbolizing peace, agreements, and spiritual connection. What animal name is given to the type of investment fund which buys large distressed debts, especially from war, chaos-torn countries, aiming later to demand and sue for extortionate interest payments? Vulture. A vulture fund is a hedge fund or private equity fund that buys distressed debt, often from sovereign nations or corporations on the brink of default, at a very low price. They then attempt to recover the full value of the debt, plus high interest, through legal means, often profiting from the economic hardship of the debtor. What small ex-Soviet nation located between Turkey and Iran was world team chess champion in 2011 and subsequently made the game compulsory in primary school education? Armenia. Armenia, a former Soviet republic with a rich history, won the World Team Chess Championship in 2011. Following this achievement, the Armenian government introduced chess as a compulsory subject in primary school curricula, highlighting the nation's strong cultural connection to the game and its belief in the educational benefits of chess. What is the common name for the round skull cap worn by Jewish males? Kippah. A kippah, also known as a yarmulke, is a dome-shaped cap traditionally worn by Jewish men and boys. It is a sign of respect for God and a reminder of His presence above them, fulfilling a rabbinic precept to cover one's head during prayer or while studying sacred texts. What type of well is named after a former French province, where Carthusian monks first drilled them in the 12th century? Artesian. An artesian well is a well that taps into an aquifer, a water-bearing permeable rock or unlithified material, where the water is under positive pressure. This pressure causes the water to rise to the surface without the need for a pump, sometimes even flowing freely, named after the French province of Artois where such wells were first extensively drilled in the 12th century. In Cable Street, East London, 1936, thousands of ordinary people famously stopped a march by what uniformly nicknamed organization? The Black Shirts. In 1936, the Battle of Cable Street saw thousands of anti-fascist demonstrators, including local Jewish, Irish, and working-class communities, block a march by the British Union of Fascists, BUF, led by Oswald Mosley. The BUF members were commonly known as the Black Shirts due to their distinctive uniform. Name the focus of the UK Leveson inquiry. Press standards. The Leveson inquiry was a judicial public inquiry into the culture, practices, and ethics of the British press following the News International phone hacking scandal. Chaired by Lord Justice Leveson, it made recommendations for a new, independent system of press self-regulation that would be underpinned by legislation. What is the colorful nickname of the International Business Machines, IBM, Corporation? Big Blue. International Business Machines, IBM, is commonly known by the nickname Big Blue. This moniker is widely believed to originate from the company's large size, its long-standing presence in the computing industry, and its corporate logo and product casing, which traditionally feature the color blue. What is conventionally regarded to be the opposite of utopia? Dystopia. A dystopia is a fictional community or society that is undesirable or frightening. It is the antithesis of a utopia, which is an imagined place or state of things in which everything is perfect. Dystopian societies are often characterized by totalitarian control, environmental decay, or other features associated with a cataclysmic decline in society. Name the humanitarian and ex-special envoy to the Archbishop of Canterbury, held hostage in Lebanon from 1987 to 1991. Terry Waite. Terry Waite is a British humanitarian and Anglican, who served as a special envoy for the Archbishop of Canterbury. He gained international prominence when he was held hostage in Lebanon by Hezbollah from 1987 to 1991, during efforts to negotiate the release of other hostages. In medicine, the word styptic refers to something that stops what? Bleeding. In medicine, a styptic agent is a substance that contracts blood vessels and tissues, thereby stopping or reducing bleeding. These agents are commonly used to treat minor cuts, scrapes, and nosebleeds by promoting coagulation or constriction of capillaries. What is the more common term for a rising or resurgence of the hydrosphere? Spring. A spring is a natural point where groundwater emerges from an aquifer to the Earth's surface. It represents a resurgence of the hydrosphere, providing a natural source of fresh water that can feed streams, rivers, and lakes. To what does the term flotsam and jetsam technically and originally refer? Marine wreckage. In maritime law, flotsam refers to goods lost from a ship that float, while jetsam refers to goods intentionally thrown overboard to lighten a vessel. Both terms collectively describe various types of marine wreckage or discarded materials found at sea. What is the common name for gum olibanum, which is derived from the tree Boswellia sacra? Frankincense. Frankincense is an aromatic resin obtained from trees of the genus Boswellia, particularly Boswellia sacra. It has been historically valued for its fragrant smoke when burned, its use in perfumes, and its role in religious ceremonies and traditional medicine. Which widely used title of high authority in English was originally HLAFWEARD, meaning bread keeper? Lord. The English title, Lord, originates from the Old English word, HLAFWEARD, which literally translates to bread keeper or loaf ward. This etymology highlights the historical role of a person in authority as the provider and protector of their household or community. Which dwarf heather plant of the genus Vaccinium yields an acidic fruit? Cranberry. Cranberries are a group of evergreen dwarf shrubs or trailing vines belonging to the genus Vaccinium, specifically the subgenus Oxycoccus. They are known for their tart, red berries, which are high in acidity and are often cultivated in bogs for commercial harvesting. What historical term, originally referring to a student residence, is preserved in names like Gray's Inn and Lincoln's Inn? Inn. The term inn historically referred to student residences, particularly those for legal education. This usage is preserved in the names of the Inns of Court in London, such as Gray's Inn and Lincoln's Inn, which are professional associations for barristers in England and Wales and have played a crucial role in legal history. Which historical figure is recorded as having conducted a mission of preaching and healing, accompanied by reported miracles, in Palestine around 2830 AD? Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is a central figure of Christianity, believed by Christians to be the Son of God and the awaited Messiah. His life, ministry of preaching and healing, and crucifixion are foundational events in world history and religious studies, particularly for understanding Western civilization and the Abrahamic religions. What marketing and technology term designates the busiest day each year for online shopping? Cyber Monday. Cyber Monday is a marketing term for the Monday after the Thanksgiving holiday in the United States, encouraging people to shop online. It has become one of the largest online shopping days of the year, signaling the start of the holiday shopping season and reflecting broader trends in e-commerce and consumer economy. Which type of anise, known for its distinct aniseed flavor, is commonly used in Asian cooking? Star anise. Star anise, Alyssium verum, is a spice derived from the fruit of an evergreen tree native to Vietnam and southern China. It is widely used in Asian cuisines for its strong licorice-like flavor, and its essential oil is also a source of shikimich acid, a precursor for the antiviral drug oseltamivir, Tamiflu. Which domesticated animal, scientifically classified as Equus asinus, is commonly known as a beast of burden? Donkey. The donkey, or ass, Equus asinus, is a domesticated member of the horse family, Equidae. Renowned for its strength, endurance, and sure-footedness, donkeys have been utilized as beasts of burden and for transport by humans for thousands of years, especially in agricultural and remote regions worldwide. What is the term for the pre-digital visual, noise, or random dots observed on a television screen due to a weak or absent signal? Snow. Snow refers to the random speckles of light and dark pixels seen on analog television screens or computer monitors when there is no input signal or a very weak one. This visual noise is caused by the electronic noise from the display's own circuitry and broadcast ambient electromagnetic noise being interpreted as video information. What verb tense is neither future nor past? Present. The present tense describes actions happening now, habitual actions, or states of being that are currently true. It contrasts with the past tense, which describes completed actions, and the future tense, which refers to actions yet to occur. Mammoths became largely extinct on Earth roughly how many years ago? 5,000 to 20,000. Mammoths, particularly the woolly mammoth, mostly died out at the end of the last ice age, around 10,000 to 12,000 years ago, due to climate change and human hunting. However, isolated populations survived on islands like Wrangel Island until approximately 4,000 years ago. The rivers Brahmaputra, Ganges, Meghna, and Krishna flow into which bay? Bengal. The Bay of Bengal, the northeastern part of the Indian Ocean, receives the waters of several major rivers, including the Ganges, Brahmaputra, Meghna, and Krishna. The Ganges-Brahmaputra-Meghna delta is the world's largest delta and is crucial for the region's ecology and economy. What soft gray alkaline earth metal is the fifth most abundant element by mass in the Earth's crust? Calcium. Calcium, Ca, is a silvery white alkaline earth metal, essential for life, forming bones and teeth, and playing a vital role in many physiological processes. It is indeed the fifth most abundant element by mass in the Earth's crust, commonly found in minerals like limestone, gypsum, and fluorite. Wildfowl such as ducks, geese, and swans have a nail on which part of the body? Beak. Wildfowl, including ducks, geese, and swans, possess a distinctive nail, or unguis on the tip of their upper beak. This hard, horny structure helps them in feeding, digging, and providing protection to the sensitive beak tip. What medical, scientific term refers to an abnormal sac of liquid on a plant or animal, derived from Greek, kystes, meaning bladder? Cyst. A cyst is a closed sac, having a distinct membrane and division from nearby tissue, that may contain air, fluids, or semi-solid material. It can develop in any part of the body in plants or animals and is derived from the ancient Greek word, kystes, meaning bladder or pouch. The God particle is more technically called what, after two English and Indian physicists? Higgs boson. The Higgs boson is an elementary particle in the Standard Model of Particle Physics, associated with the Higgs field. Its existence was confirmed in 2012 by experiments at CERN, playing a crucial role in explaining why other fundamental particles have mass. What Italian-originating word means vivacity or vigor, and is also an infant toy brand? Brio. Brio is an Italian word meaning spirit, vivacity, vigor, energy. It is often used in musical contexts, e.g., con brio, with spirit, and has been adopted into English to describe lively enthusiasm or energy. In medicine and biological science, what is the opposite and usual alternative to in vitro? In vivo. In vitro refers to experiments or processes conducted outside a living organism, typically in a test tube or laboratory dish. Its counterpart, in vivo, describes experiments or observations performed within a living organism, such as an animal or human, to study biological processes in their natural context. The 1979 Islamic Revolution of Iran overthrew a Shah. The 1979 Islamic Revolution in Iran led to the overthrow of Muhammad Reza Pahlavi, the last Shah of Iran. This event transformed Iran from a monarchy into an Islamic republic under the leadership of Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, significantly altering the country's political, social, and religious landscape. Mustafa Kemal Ataturk (1881–1938) was first president and is regarded as founder of which republic? Turkey. Mustafa Kemal Ataturk was a Turkish field marshal, revolutionary statesman, and author who served as the first president of Turkey from 1923 until his death in 1938. He is credited with being the founder of the Republic of Turkey and implemented comprehensive reforms to modernize and secularize the country. What is the singular term for one piece of data? Datum. Data is the plural form of the word, referring to a collection of facts or statistics. The singular form, datum, refers to a single piece of information, a fact, or a point of reference from which measurements are made or calculations started. Name the Ukrainian, Russian-American engineer who was first to viably manufacture and sell helicopters. Igor Sikorsky. Igor Sikorsky was a pioneering aviation engineer who designed and built the first successful helicopter in 1939. His company, Sikorsky Aircraft, went on to become a major manufacturer of helicopters, revolutionizing air travel and defense with practical rotorcraft. In physics, what is the opposite of tension? Compression. In mechanics, tension is a pulling force transmitted axially through a string, cable, or similar object. Compression, conversely, is a pushing force that tends to compact or shorten an object, often leading to a decrease in its volume. These two forces are fundamental concepts in understanding stress and strain in materials. In Norse mythology, what is the Hall of the Slain? Valhalla. Valhalla is a majestic, enormous hall located in Asgard, ruled by the god Odin. In Norse mythology, half of those who die in combat are chosen by the Valkyries and brought to Valhalla, where they feast and prepare to assist Odin during Ragnarok. What is the biblical rough garment worn with ashes as a sign of mourning or repentance? Sackcloth. Sackcloth, a coarse cloth typically made from goat's hair, was historically worn in biblical times as a symbol of mourning, penance, or humility. It was often accompanied by ashes sprinkled on the head, signifying profound sorrow or repentance before God. What term, originating from Greek, relates to sound, hearing, and non-electric musical instruments? Acoustic. The term, acoustic, refers to properties or qualities of sound, including its production, transmission, and reception. In music, an acoustic instrument is one that produces sound through natural means, such as vibration of strings or air columns, without requiring electrical amplification. What was the title of a Muslim ruler or dignitary in South Asia, often translated or distorted in various forms? Nawab. The title, Nawab, from Arabic, Naib, meaning deputy, was used for provincial governors or high-ranking officials in the Mughal Empire in South Asia. Over time, it came to signify a semi-autonomous princely ruler, especially during the decline of the Mughal Empire and the rise of British influence. Which demonic entity is often referred to as Lord of the Flies? Beelzebub. Beelzebub is a prominent demon in Abrahamic religions, often associated with the Philistine god Baal. The epithet, Lord of the Flies, is famously used in William Golding's novel, Lord of the Flies, where it symbolizes the descent into savagery and the inherent evil within humanity. Who is the central canine character in Jack London's novel, The Call of the Wild? Buck. Buck is the protagonist of Jack London's 1903 novel, The Call of the Wild, A Street. Bernard Scotch Collie mix who is stolen from his comfortable life in California and forced into the harsh life of a sled dog during the Klondike Gold Rush. The novel explores themes of nature versus nurture, the struggle for survival, and the return to primeval instincts. Who was the most decorated war dog of World War I, also achieving the highest rank for an animal in the US Army? Sergeant Stubby. Sergeant Stubby was a Boston Terrier who served with the 102nd Infantry, 26th Yankee Division during World War I. He participated in 17 battles, warning soldiers of gas attacks, locating wounded men, and even capturing a German spy. Stubby became the most decorated war dog in American history, earning several medals and being promoted to sergeant. What common distinction did individuals like Maria Kozovnikova, Nikolai Valuyev, and Mara Safin achieve in December 2011? Election to the Russian parliament. This question pertains to current affairs and political appointments. In December 2011, several prominent Russian figures from various fields, including entertainment and sports, were elected to the State Duma, the lower house of the Federal Assembly of Russia. This highlighted a trend of integrating well-known personalities into the political sphere. Which major religion celebrates festivals such as Nuakhai, Yatra, or Jatra, Pongal, Holi, and Shigmo? Hinduism. These festivals are integral to Hindu traditions across different regions of India. Nuakhai is an agricultural festival primarily celebrated in Orissa, Pongal is a harvest festival prominent in Tamil Nadu, Holi is the festival of colors celebrated widely, and Shigmo is a significant spring festival in Goa, all deeply rooted in Hindu culture and religious practices. Which country experienced the Velvet Revolution in November to December 1989? Czechoslovakia. The Velvet Revolution was a nonviolent transition of power in Czechoslovakia from totalitarian communist rule to a parliamentary republic. It occurred between November 17 and December 29, 1989, leading to the peaceful dissolution of Czechoslovakia into the Czech Republic and Slovakia in 1993. What ancient Sanskrit word, loosely meaning region, commonly now refers to people and culture, products, etc., of Indian subcontinent origins? Desi. Desi is a term used to describe people, cultures, and products of Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, and Nepalese origin, particularly in diaspora communities. Derived from the Sanskrit word desh, meaning country or region, it signifies a connection to the subcontinent. Whom did Forbes magazine list as the most powerful woman in the Southern Hemisphere in 2011? Dilma Rousseff. Dilma Rousseff served as the president of Brazil from 2011 to 2016, making her the first woman to hold the office. Her recognition by Forbes magazine in 2011 highlighted her significant political influence and role as a head of state in the Southern Hemisphere during that period. The Showa period of Japan coincided with which emperor's reign? Hirohito. The Showa period, 1926 to 1989, was the longest imperial reign in Japanese history, spanning over 62 years under Emperor Hirohito. This era saw significant transformations in Japan, including World War II, post-war reconstruction, and economic prosperity, making it a crucial period in global history. What fashionable Mediterranean resort hosted the G20 International Economics Conference at the height of the Greek Euro membership crisis? Cannes. Cannes, a well-known resort city on the French Riviera, hosted the G20 summit in November 2011. This summit was particularly significant as it occurred during the peak of the European sovereign debt crisis, with the Greek Euro membership crisis being a central issue of discussion among world leaders. How many cubic meters is the space in a room 4 meters square and 3 meters high? 48. The volume of a room is calculated by multiplying its length, width, and height. In this case, 4 meters square means the room has a square base with sides of 4 meters each. Therefore, the volume is 4 meters, length, times 4 meters, width, times 3 meters, height, equals 48 cubic meters. What element is also known as hydrargyrum? Mercury. Mercury, symbolized as Hg, is a chemical element with atomic number 80. It is unique as the only metallic element that is liquid at standard temperature and pressure, and its ancient Greek name, hydrargyrum, means water silver, due to its liquid, silvery appearance. Which Australian city is considered to have the largest Greek population outside of Greece? Melbourne. Melbourne is renowned for its large Greek diaspora, boasting one of the highest concentrations of Greek people outside of Greece. This vibrant community has profoundly influenced the city's culture, cuisine, and social fabric. What French term refers, especially in English contracts, to an unforeseeable factor preventing the fulfillment of an agreement? Force majeure. Force majeure is a common clause in contracts that excuses parties from fulfilling their obligations due to extraordinary events beyond their control. These events, such as natural disasters or war, must be unforeseeable and unavoidable, rendering performance impossible. What word, meaning forbidden or unmentionable, is derived from Toman? Taboo. The term, taboo, refers to a social or religious custom prohibiting a particular practice, object, or person. It originated from the Toman language and was introduced to European languages by Captain James Cook, who observed its strict application in Polynesian societies. What term for a mountain guide, derived from Tibetan, also refers to an ethnic group native to Nepal and Tibet? Sherpa. Sherpa refers to an ethnic group indigenous to the mountainous regions of Nepal and Tibet, renowned for their exceptional mountaineering skills. The term has also become synonymous with highly experienced mountain guides, particularly those assisting expeditions in the Himalayas. What term, derived from Dutch, refers to the seasonal South Asian wind and accompanying heavy rainfall? Monsoon. A monsoon is a seasonal prevailing wind, primarily occurring in South and Southeast Asia, characterized by a dramatic shift in direction and heavy rainfall. This crucial meteorological phenomenon profoundly impacts the agriculture, economy, and water resources of affected regions. What long wrap-around skirt, meaning sheath or quiver, is derived from Malay? Sarong. A sarong is a length of fabric, typically wrapped around the waist and worn as a skirt, prevalent in Southeast Asia, South Asia, and the Pacific Islands. Derived from Malay, it serves as a significant traditional garment with cultural and historical importance. What term, derived from Swedish, refers to a wide variety of choices, often associated with a buffet-style meal? Smorgasbord. A smorgasbord is a traditional Scandinavian meal served buffet-style, offering a diverse array of hot and cold dishes. Figuratively, the term is used to describe a wide and varied selection of options or choices. What term, derived from Persian, Urdu, refers to isolation, quarantine, or secrecy? Purdah. Purdah is a socio-religious practice prevalent in some Muslim and Hindu communities, particularly in the Indian subcontinent. It involves the seclusion of women from public view, either through physical segregation or the wearing of veils, to maintain modesty and honor. The word itself originates from Persian, meaning curtain or veil. What term, derived from Russian, Yiddish, describes an organized massacre of an ethnic group? Pogrom. A pogrom is an organized massacre of a particular ethnic group, historically referring to attacks on Jews in the Russian Empire and Eastern Europe. These violent outbreaks are typically characterized by widespread looting, destruction, and killing, often carried out with state tolerance or direct involvement. The term underscores a specific form of systematic persecution against minorities. What Sanskrit term signifies a state of ultimate happiness or blissful death through enlightenment, literally meaning, blowing out? Nirvana. Nirvana is a central concept in Buddhism and other Indian religions, representing the ultimate goal of spiritual practice. It describes a state of perfect peace and freedom from suffering, desire, and the cycle of rebirth, samsara, achieved through enlightenment. The literal meaning, blowing out, refers to extinguishing the fires of craving and delusion. Which capital city of the Indian state of Madhya Pradesh is infamous for the 1984 gas poisoning disaster at the Union Carbide plant? Bhopal. Bhopal, the capital of Madhya Pradesh, is tragically known for one of the world's worst industrial disasters, which occurred on December 2–3, 1984. A leak of methyl isocyanate gas from the Union Carbide India Limited pesticide plant resulted in thousands of immediate deaths and hundreds of thousands of long-term injuries. This event highlighted critical issues in industrial safety and environmental regulation. According to Forbes magazine in 2011, what entity achieved in 7 years what the CIA could not in 60, regarding knowing what 800 million people think, read, and listen to? Facebook. This question highlights the rapid rise in immense data collection capabilities of Facebook, now Meta platforms, by 2011. Its ability to aggregate user data and understand preferences quickly surpassed traditional intelligence agencies, demonstrating the unprecedented scale of information gathering by social media platforms. Who was the controversial guest character, subject to European extradition proceedings, who appeared in the 500th edition of The Simpsons animated TV series? Julian Assange. Julian Assange, the founder of WikiLeaks, is a notable figure in international law and freedom of information. His appearance on The Simpsons reflected his high public profile and the ongoing legal battles concerning his extradition, which garnered significant global media attention in 2012. Cymraeg is the native name for the language of which nation? Wales, Welsh. Cymraeg is the Welsh word for the Welsh language, the official language of Wales. It is a Brittonic language of the Celtic family, spoken by a significant portion of the Welsh population and actively promoted through education and public services. The European, Asian slow worm, Angus, belongs to which type of animal? Lizard. Despite its snake-like appearance and common name, the slow worm, Angus fragilis, is a legless lizard, not a snake. Key features distinguishing it from snakes include eyelids, external ear openings, and the ability to shed its tail as a defense mechanism, autotomy. Who was the UK government minister widely reported in 2012 for his initiatives regarding Bible distribution in schools and the proposal for a new royal yacht? Michael Gove. Michael Gove served as the UK Secretary of State for Education from 2010 to 2014. In 2012, he attracted media attention for controversial policy initiatives, including support for wider Bible distribution in schools and advocating for a new royal yacht, reflecting debates on national identity and public spending. The Venetian island of Murano is renowned for its centuries-old traditional manufacture of what decorative material? Glass. Murano, an island in the Venetian lagoon, has been a leading center for fine glass making since the 13th century. Its artisans developed distinctive techniques, such as Murano glass, which is prized worldwide for its intricate designs, vibrant colors, and high quality. Guerrilla street art attributed to Banksy became a notable feature of which capital city in 2012? Moscow. Banksy is an anonymous England-based street artist, political activist, and film director whose satirical street art and subversive epigrams combine dark humor with graffiti. His provocative works often appear in unexpected public locations and garnered significant attention in various global cities, including Moscow in 2012. What musical instrument is the etymological root for the occupational name of a stringed instrument maker, especially for violins and guitars? Lute. The term, luthier, refers to a craftsman who builds or repairs string instruments. This name originates from the lute, a stringed instrument with a deep round back and a fretted fingerboard, historically significant in European music. In printing and publishing, what is the literal translation of the term, vox nihili, which refers to a useless or redundant word, often resulting from an error? Voice of nothing. Vox nihili is a Latin phrase literally meaning, voice of nothing. In publishing, it describes a superfluous word or phrase, often a typographical error, that adds no meaning and can sometimes detract from the text's clarity or flow. Where is liquor amni normally found? Pregnant women. Liquor amni is the medical term for amniotic fluid. This vital fluid surrounds the fetus during pregnancy, protecting it from injury and regulating temperature, facilitating fetal movement, and aiding lung development. In car combustion engines, what traditional device for blending air and fuel was replaced by the fuel injection system? Carburetor. The carburetor was a crucial component in older internal combustion engines, responsible for mixing air and fuel in the correct proportions before combustion. Modern engines have largely replaced carburetors with more precise and efficient fuel injection systems, which deliver fuel directly into the engine cylinders or intake manifold. A Pelton wheel converts what type of power into usable energy? Water. A Pelton wheel is a type of impulse hydroturbine designed to convert the kinetic energy of water into mechanical power. It is commonly used in hydroelectric power plants where a high head, vertical drop of water is available. A fort is a unit of measurement of light brightness. A fort is a CGS unit of illuminance or luminous emittance. It measures the amount of luminous flux per unit area, where 1 fort equals 1 lumen per square centimeter. This concept is fundamental in physics, particularly in optics and photometry. As at 2012, what 115-island Indian Ocean nation has the smallest population, about 86,000, of any African country? Seychelles. Seychelles is an archipelago nation in the Indian Ocean, comprising 115 islands. As of 2012, and still among the smallest, it had the lowest population of any African country, highlighting its unique demographic status and small island nation geography. Which country has the international telephone dialing code 27? South Africa. South Africa uses the international telephone dialing code +27. Each country is assigned a unique country code by the International Telecommunication Union, ITU, for international direct dialing, facilitating global communication. What length is the shortest side of a right-angled triangle whose longest sides are 4 cm and 5 cm? 3 cm. This question applies the Pythagorean theorem, a fundamental principle in Euclidean geometry. For a right-angled triangle, the square of the hypotenuse, the longest side, 5 cm, is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Given one leg is 4 cm, the other leg must be 3 cm, 3 to the power of 2 plus 4 to the power of 2 equals 9 plus 16 equals 25 equals 5 squared. A framework beam, a fink, that supports a wide-spanning roof is also known as a, what nationality, truss? French. A fink truss, or French truss, is a common type of roof truss design, characterized by its W-shaped web configuration. This design efficiently transfers loads from the roof to the supporting walls, making it suitable for wide-spanning roofs due to its structural stability and material efficiency in civil engineering. What psychological condition was named after the Greek legend of a beautiful hunter who fell in love with his own reflection? Narcissism. Narcissism is a psychological concept characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance, a deep need for excessive attention and admiration, and a lack of empathy for others. The term derives from the ancient Greek myth of Narcissus, a hunter renowned for his beauty who fell in love with his own reflection. Which corporation suffered embarrassment after sponsoring and naming the weather system which caused multiple fatalities across Eastern Europe in February 2012? BMW. In February 2012, a severe cold snap across Eastern Europe, which caused numerous fatalities, was controversially named DESI, after a sponsorship scheme by BMW. The German corporation faced public criticism for its association with such a devastating weather event, highlighting the ethical considerations and potential reputational risks in corporate sponsorships. Named after Hantan River, South Korea, hantaviruses typically infect humans through transfer from bites, waste, etc., of rodents. Hantaviruses are a group of single-stranded, enveloped RNA viruses primarily carried by rodents. They are zoonotic, meaning they can be transmitted to humans through contact with infected rodent urine, droppings, or saliva, often via airborne particles. Hantavirus infections can cause severe, sometimes fatal, respiratory and kidney diseases in humans, making understanding their transmission crucial for public health. What country was the world's largest democracy as of 2012? India. India is renowned as the world's largest democracy, characterized by its vast electorate and multi-party system. Its democratic framework, established post-independence, is governed by a robust constitution ensuring fundamental rights and free and fair elections. In 2012, Josefina Vázquez Mota became a presidential candidate for the ruling National Action Party, PAN, in which country? Mexico. Josefina Vázquez Mota was a significant political figure in Mexico, serving as a presidential candidate for the National Action Party, PAN, in 2012. Her candidacy marked a notable moment in Mexican political history, representing a major party in a presidential election. Name the Australian mining tycoon who, after acquiring substantial newspaper shareholdings in 2012, emerged from obscurity as one of the world's richest women. Gina Rinehart. Gina Rinehart is an Australian mining magnate and billionaire. She is the chairman of Hancock Prospecting, a privately owned mineral exploration and extraction company. Her substantial wealth and influence in the mining sector make her a notable figure in global business. Emil Boc resigned as Prime Minister of which European country in February 2012? Romania. Emil Boc served as the Prime Minister of Romania from 2008 to 2012. He resigned amidst widespread anti-austerity protests, a common theme in European politics during the economic crisis of the early 2010s. Lisa del Giocondo is better known as what famous characterization? Mona Lisa. Lisa del Giocondo, also known as Lisa Gherardini, was the wife of a wealthy Florentine merchant and is widely believed to be the subject of Leonardo da Vinci's iconic portrait, the Mona Lisa. This painting is renowned for its enigmatic smile and its significant influence on Western art history. The Aquino, Arroyo, and Cojuangco families have in recent times been prominent in the politics of what country? The Philippines. The Philippines has a history of political dynasties, with families like the Aquino, Arroyo, and Cojuangco families playing dominant roles in its governance. These families have produced multiple presidents and prominent political figures, significantly shaping the country's political landscape. In the human body, the hypophysis is better known as what gland? Pituitary gland. The hypophysis, more commonly known as the pituitary gland, is a pea-sized endocrine gland located at the base of the brain. It plays a crucial role in regulating numerous vital bodily functions and the general well-being of a person through the hormones it produces. The Bedouin people are so named because they originated in what environment? Desert. Bedouin are nomadic Arab people historically inhabiting the desert regions of the Middle East and North Africa. Their name, derived from the Arabic, Badawi, literally means desert dwellers, reflecting their traditional lifestyle and origin. What English word, derived from French meaning cold blood, refers to a person's composure under pressure? Sang-froid. Sang-froid is an English word borrowed from French, literally meaning cold blood. It refers to composure or coolness, especially in the face of danger or difficulty, demonstrating a calm and collected demeanor under pressure. The deeply inaccessible lakes Vostok, Whillans, and Ellsworth are located in which polar region? Antarctica. Lakes Vostok, Whillans, and Ellsworth are major subglacial lakes located deep beneath the ice sheet of Antarctica, near the South Pole. These unique environments are of great scientific interest for studying extremophile life and paleoclimates in extreme conditions. The 1805 Battle of Austerlitz was a major victory for which commander? Napoleon Bonaparte. The Battle of Austerlitz, fought on December 2, 1805, was one of Napoleon Bonaparte's greatest victories, often considered a tactical masterpiece. It effectively ended the Third Coalition against France and led to the collapse of the Holy Roman Empire. What whitetail species grew in such numbers in U.S. Washington, D.C. parklands as to prompt radical control measures in 2012? White-tailed deer. White-tailed deer, Odicoileus virginianus, are a common species in North America. Overpopulation in urban parklands, such as those in Washington, D.C., often leads to ecological imbalances and increased human-wildlife conflicts, prompting wildlife management agencies to implement control measures. What nationality were the corporations Samsung, Hyundai, and LG at their founding and in 2012? South Korean. Samsung, Hyundai, and LG are multinational conglomerates originating from South Korea. These companies are key pillars of the South Korean economy, globally recognized for their diverse range of products from electronics and automobiles to heavy industries and chemicals. In February 2012, British cruise ships Adonia and Star Princess were refused entry to Ushuaia port in the southern tip of which country? Argentina. In February 2012, two British cruise ships were denied entry to Ushuaia, Argentina, due to renewed tensions over the Falkland Islands, Malvinas. Argentina maintains its sovereignty claim over the islands, and this incident reflected the ongoing diplomatic dispute between the two nations. Moody's, Fitch, and Standard & Poor's are leaders in what market? Credit ratings. Moody's, Fitch Ratings, and Standard & Poor's, S&P, are the three major global credit rating agencies. They assess the creditworthiness of borrowers, governments, corporations, individuals, by issuing ratings that indicate the likelihood of debt repayment, playing a crucial role in financial markets. What discriminatory personal title did the French government decree in February 2012 should be removed from official forms? Mademoiselle. The term, mademoiselle, for an unmarried woman was deemed discriminatory as there is no equivalent distinction for men, monsieur. Its removal from official forms in France in 2012 was a step towards gender equality in administrative language. Brent crude is the common trading classification for oil sourced from the bed of what sea? North Sea. Brent crude is a major classification of crude oil used as a benchmark for global oil prices, alongside WTI and Dubai crude. It is sourced primarily from oil fields in the North Sea, defining a significant portion of international oil trade. What airport carried the most international passengers in the world, as of 2012? Heathrow. Heathrow Airport, located in London, UK, is one of the world's busiest airports and has historically been a major hub for international travel. While passenger numbers fluctuate and other airports have since surpassed it in total traffic, it remains a critical global aviation gateway. The translation, long chair, refers to what traditionally French named item of furniture? Chaise longue. A chaise longue is a chair long enough to support the legs, literally translating from French as long chair. This elegant piece of furniture is designed for relaxation and is a classic example of French influence on interior design and vocabulary. King Rama and Queen Sirikit ruled which country, as of 2012, bordered by Burma, Laos, and Cambodia? Thailand. Thailand, a Southeast Asian nation, is known for its rich cultural heritage and constitutional monarchy. In 2012, King Bhumibol Adulyadej, Rama IX, and Queen Sirikit were the reigning monarchs, key figures in the country's political and cultural identity. Its strategic location borders Myanmar, Burma, Laos, and Cambodia. Moishe Chagall, born 1887 in what is now Belarus, became famous under what other name? Marc Chagall. Marc Chagall, born Moishe Chagall in Belarus, was a prominent Russian-French artist associated with early modernism. His distinctive style incorporated elements of cubism, symbolism, and fauvism, often featuring dreamlike imagery and vibrant colors. From Greek meaning, within, what sort of gland secretes hormones, etc., directly into the blood? Endocrine. Endocrine glands are ductless glands that secrete hormones directly into the bloodstream, where they are transported to target organs throughout the body. This system plays a crucial role in regulating various bodily functions, including metabolism, growth, and reproduction. What weekday is traditionally called Super in the election of US presidential candidates? Tuesday. Super Tuesday is a day during the United States presidential primary election season when the largest number of states hold primary elections and caucuses. It is a critical juncture as it awards a significant number of delegates, often indicating which candidates are likely to secure their party's nomination. Guy Harday, who in 2012 became the first politician to face court charges for negligence in contributing to the 2008 global financial crisis, led what country? Iceland. Guy Harday served as Prime Minister of Iceland during the onset of the 2008 global financial crisis, which severely impacted the country. In 2012, he faced charges of negligence before a special court, becoming the first head of government to be tried in such a manner for actions related to the crisis. The Doppelsigrun, or Sigrunes, was the symbol of what secretive and powerful organization? The SS Schutzstaffel. The Doppelsigrun, or Sigrunes, was the distinctive emblem of the Schutzstaffel, SS, a major paramilitary organization under Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party in Nazi Germany. It became a symbol of terror and genocide during World War II, playing a central role in the Holocaust. Who was the last head of state of the Soviet Union? Mikhail Gorbachev. Mikhail Gorbachev served as the last General Secretary of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union from 1985 until 1991 and as the final head of state of the Soviet Union, overseeing its dissolution in December 1991. His policies of glasnost, openness, and perestroika, restructuring, significantly contributed to the end of the Cold War and the collapse of the USSR. Name Norwegian Edvard Munch's famous painting depicting human outburst. The Scream. Edvard Munch's The Scream, Skrik, is a series of iconic expressionist artworks created between 1893 and 1910. It represents a universal symbol of anxiety and modern existential anguish, making it one of the most recognizable and influential works in art history. Hygroscopic refers to substances that do what to water? Adsorb water. Hygroscopic substances possess the ability to attract and retain water molecules from the surrounding atmosphere. This process can involve either absorption, where water penetrates the substance's bulk, or adsorption, where water molecules adhere to the surface. Common examples include calcium chloride and silica gel. Shakespeare's play depicting the Greek, Trojan War, focusing on themes of love and betrayal, is titled Troilus and Cressida. Cressida. Troilus and Cressida is one of Shakespeare's problem plays, believed to have been written around 1602. Set during the Trojan War, it explores themes of love, honor, and the futility of war through the tragic romance of the Trojan prince Troilus and Cressida, a Trojan woman. What elements cause rust on metal? Moisture and oxygen. Rusting is an electrochemical process, specifically the corrosion of iron and its alloys, such as steel. It occurs when iron is exposed to oxygen and moisture, water, leading to the formation of iron oxides. This reaction commonly results in a reddish-brown flaky coating on the metal surface. Which generation of mobile broadband service represented a significant upgrade for telecommunications networks, widely adopted in Europe around 2012? 4G, fourth generation. 4G, or fourth generation, is a broadband cellular network technology succeeding 3G. It offers significantly faster speeds and greater bandwidth, enabling improved mobile internet access, high-definition video streaming, and advanced mobile applications. Its widespread adoption around 2012 marked a major leap in mobile communication capabilities. Which country's socio-political and economic conditions largely inspired the term banana republic? Honduras. The term banana republic was coined by American writer O. Henry in 1904, primarily referring to Honduras and other Central American countries. It describes a politically unstable country economically dependent on the export of a limited resource, like bananas, often exploited by foreign corporations, with a corrupt or authoritarian government. What four technical subjects are represented by the acronym STEM in education? Science, technology, engineering, mathematics. STEM is an acronym for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, used to group these academic disciplines. The term emphasizes education policies and curricula that focus on these areas to drive innovation and economic growth. STEM fields are crucial for technological advancement and problem solving in various industries. Austrian physicist Erwin Schrödinger's thought experiment theory is referred to as Schrödinger's what animal? Cat. Schrödinger's cat is a famous thought experiment devised by Austrian physicist Erwin Schrödinger to illustrate a paradox of quantum superposition. It involves a hypothetical cat in a sealed box that is simultaneously considered both dead and alive, based on a quantum event, until observed. The natural effect causing paint to rise up the hairs of a paintbrush, and liquid to rise up a narrow tube is called, what action? Capillary. Capillary action, or capillarity, is the ability of a liquid to flow in narrow spaces against the force of gravity without external assistance. This phenomenon is caused by the combined effects of surface tension, cohesion, and adhesion between the liquid and the solid surface, playing a crucial role in plant water transport. Dr. Robert Atkins, 1930–2003, was noted for what eponymous conception? Atkins diet. The Atkins diet is a low-carbohydrate eating plan promoted by Dr. Robert Atkins, designed to help with weight loss. It emphasizes reducing carbohydrate intake to encourage the body to burn fat for fuel, going through various phases of carbohydrate restriction and reintroduction. What ingredient, used cleverly very sparingly by the Romans, largely determines durability of concrete? Water. The water-cement ratio is a critical factor influencing the durability and strength of concrete. A lower water-cement ratio generally results in a stronger, less permeable, and more durable concrete, provided adequate water for complete cement hydration is present. The Romans' success with concrete was also attributed to their use of volcanic ash, pozzolana. Verenigde Oost-Indische Compagnie, VOC, was better known as what hugely influential organization, notably in the colonial exploitation of Asia? Dutch East India Company. The Verenigde Oost-Indische Compagnie, VOC, commonly known as the Dutch East India Company, was a powerful chartered company established in 1602. It played a significant role in global trade and colonial expansion, particularly in Asia, possessing quasi-governmental powers, including the ability to wage war and establish colonies. Technically, the potato is a tuber. Botanically, a potato is classified as a tuber, which is a swollen, underground stem modified for storing nutrients. Unlike root vegetables, tubers like potatoes have eyes that are actually nodes with dormant buds, capable of sprouting into new plants. In what modern country did the ancient Sumer or Sumerian civilization develop and flourish? Iraq. The ancient Sumerian civilization, one of the earliest urban civilizations, developed and flourished in Mesopotamia. This historical region, often called the cradle of civilization, is predominantly situated within the territory of modern-day Iraq, particularly between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. Modern DNA studies show that the first migrants to the North American continent were Asians. Modern genetic and archaeological evidence overwhelmingly indicates that the first human migrants to the North American continent originated from Asia. These early populations are believed to have crossed the Bering Land Bridge, Beringia, into Alaska during the last glacial period, subsequently populating the Americas. Where did the modern common potato originate? South America. The common potato, Solanum tuberosum, is native to the Andes region of South America, primarily in Peru and Bolivia. It was domesticated by indigenous peoples thousands of years ago before being introduced to Europe in the 16th century, becoming a global staple crop. What material was used in the construction of the 2,000-year-old dome of the Pantheon in Rome? Concrete. The Pantheon's dome, built in ancient Rome, is a marvel of engineering, largely constructed from unreinforced concrete. Its innovative use of varying aggregate densities, lighter at the top, allowed it to remain the world's largest unreinforced concrete dome for centuries. The renminbi, an increasingly important currency in global trading, belongs to which country? China. The renminbi, RMB, is the official currency of the People's Republic of China. Its internationalization is a significant development in global finance, as China aims to increase its usage in trade and investment worldwide. What action does an exoplanet perform in relation to a star outside of our solar system? Orbits. An exoplanet, also known as an extrasolar planet, is a planet that orbits a star other than the Sun. Thousands of exoplanets have been discovered, providing insights into planetary formation and the potential for life beyond Earth. Which renowned artist and inventors lost 1504 painting, The Battle of Anghiari, was reportedly found in 2012 hidden behind a later fresco in Florence Town Hall? Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci's The Battle of Anghiari was a monumental fresco in Florence's Palazzo Vecchio, famously deemed the Lost Leonardo. Speculation arose in 2012 about its possible existence behind a fresco by Giorgio Vasari, although this remains an unconfirmed hypothesis. As of 2012, which was the only European country that routinely applied the death penalty? Belarus. Belarus remains the only country in Europe, and the post-Soviet space, that continues to carry out death sentences. This practice often draws international condemnation from human rights organizations and the European Union. Coptic refers to a sect of which religious order? Christianity. Coptic Christianity refers to a distinct branch of Christianity, primarily centered in Egypt, with its own liturgy, traditions, and ecclesiastical hierarchy. The Coptic Orthodox Church is one of the oldest Christian denominations, tracing its origins to the Apostle Mark. The daisy-like plants called chamomile are regarded as a helpful natural aid chiefly for what purpose? Sleep, relaxation. Chamomile, Matricaria chamomilla or Chamaemelum nobile, is a popular herbal plant known for its mild sedative and anxiolytic properties. It is widely used in teas and supplements to promote relaxation and improve sleep quality, attributed to compounds like apigenin. What religious code refers to the three poisons, or unwholesome roots, of ignorance, attachment, and aversion, as the roots of all suffering? Buddhism. In Buddhist philosophy, the three poisons or three unwholesome roots, kleshas, are ignorance, moha, attachment, greed, rag, and aversion, hatred, dvesha. These are considered the primary causes of suffering and rebirth within the cycle of samsara. As of 2012, Hu Jintao and Wen Jiabao held the positions of president and premier, respectively, in which country? China. Hu Jintao served as the President of the People's Republic of China from 2003 to 2013, while Wen Jiabao was the Premier from 2003 to 2013. They were the top leaders of China during much of the early 21st century. What organ of the human body has a pericardium, a pulmonary trunk, and a superior vena cava? Heart. The heart is encased in the pericardium, a protective sac. The pulmonary trunk carries deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle to the lungs, while the superior vena cava brings deoxygenated blood from the upper body back to the right atrium. Who succeeded Joseph Stalin as leader of the Soviet Union? Nikita Khrushchev. Nikita Khrushchev emerged as the leader of the Soviet Union after Joseph Stalin's death in 1953, eventually consolidating power by 1957. He initiated a period known as the Stalinization, which involved political reforms and a shift in foreign policy. A dagger, duggi or dhama, is the base element of what Indian percussion instrument? Tabla. The tabla is a pair of Indian percussion drums, comprising the smaller, higher-pitched Dayan, right drum, and the larger, bass-producing dagger, left drum. The dagger's flexible membrane and application of pressure by the palm allow for a wide range of bass tones and glides. Lye is an Old English word for what chemical substance? Caustic soda. Lye is a common term referring to a strong alkaline solution, traditionally potassium hydroxide, potash lye, or sodium hydroxide, caustic soda. Sodium hydroxide, NaOH, is a highly corrosive base used in various industrial processes, including soap making and drain cleaning. Which country has the longest national highway in the world? Australia. The longest national highway is often considered to be Australia's Highway 1, which circumnavigates the entire continent. It spans approximately 14,500 kilometers, connecting all mainland state capitals and covering vast distances across various terrains. What is the only country whose homeland spans both Africa and Asia? Egypt. Egypt is unique as it is considered a transcontinental country, with its main territory in Northeast Africa and the Sinai Peninsula geographically located in Asia. This strategic position makes it a crucial link between the two continents, controlling the Suez Canal. A Medina is typically an Arabic city area characterized by walled narrow maze-like streets. A Medina refers to the ancient, walled historical district often found in North African and Middle Eastern cities. These areas are known for their labyrinthine narrow streets, traditional souks, markets, and historical architecture, reflecting centuries of urban development. Which country's royal anthem is called Kongesangen? Norway. Kongesangen, the King's Song, is the royal anthem of Norway, distinct from the national anthem, Ja, vi elsker det landet. It is typically performed in the presence of the monarch or members of the royal family, signifying royal occasions and loyalty to the crown. The word membranophone technically refers to a drum. A membranophone is any musical instrument which produces sound primarily by means of a vibrating stretched membrane, commonly known as a drumhead. This classification includes various types of drums, timpani, and some percussion instruments found across diverse cultures globally. Carthage is a 3,000-year-old urban settlement now part of what North African capital city? Tunis. Carthage was a powerful ancient Phoenician city-state located near modern Tunis, the capital of Tunisia. It was a major maritime and commercial power in the ancient Mediterranean, famously engaging in the Punic Wars with Rome, and its ruins are now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. What vague unit of time is also the same as torque in physics, being a rotational force? Moment. In physics, moment refers to the turning effect of a force about a point or axis, also known as torque. Additionally, moment can refer to a brief, unspecified period of time, highlighting a curious overlap in terminology between physics and everyday language. Name the credit card-sized very low-cost basic personal computer designed to increase young people, school computer access and skills. Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi is a series of small single-board computers developed in the UK by the Raspberry Pi Foundation. Its primary aim is to promote the teaching of basic computer science in schools in developing countries, offering an affordable and versatile platform for learning and innovation. What nationality is the retail group Carrefour? French. Carrefour SA is a French multinational retail corporation headquartered in Massy, France. Founded in 1959, it is one of the largest hypermarket chains globally, with a significant international presence across various continents. What UK government-funded company traditionally employing disabled people in manufacturing was founded in 1945 to provide work for injured soldiers? Remploy. Remploy was a UK government-funded company established in 1945 with the specific mandate to provide employment opportunities for disabled people. Initially, it focused on supporting injured ex-servicemen returning from World War II in manufacturing roles, later expanding its services and scope. Tonsure refers to removal of hair from the head. Tonsure is the practice of cutting or shaving some or all of the hair from the scalp as a sign of religious devotion, humility, or entrance into a monastic order. This ritual has been historically observed in various religious traditions, including Christianity, Buddhism, and Hinduism. In Old English, a yeoman was originally a man possessing, working with land. In medieval England, a yeoman was a social rank indicating a free man who owned and cultivated his own land, placing him below the gentry but above the labourers. This class played a significant role in English society and the military, often serving as archers. What African country experienced a 2012 rebellion by Tuareg fighters? Mali. In 2012, Mali faced a significant rebellion led by Tuareg separatists, primarily the National Movement for the Liberation of Azawad, MNLA. This conflict aimed to establish an independent state for the Tuareg people in northern Mali, leading to widespread instability and international intervention. Which major social networking corporation grew from a branded messaging project at podcasting site Audio? Twitter. Twitter, now officially known as X, was conceived as a SMS for Groups project within Audio, a podcasting company, in 2006. Co-founded by Jack Dorsey, Noah Glass, Biz Stone, and Evan Williams, it quickly evolved into a microblogging and social networking service. Pisuri, Paphos, and Protaras are seaside resorts in which Mediterranean island? Cyprus. Cyprus is the third largest island in the Mediterranean Sea, renowned for its tourism industry. Paphos, Pisuri, and Protaras are among its most popular coastal resorts, attracting visitors with their picturesque beaches, historical sites, and vibrant holiday atmosphere. What is the only internal human organ capable of natural regeneration of lost tissue? Liver. The liver is a vital organ with remarkable regenerative capabilities, allowing it to heal and regrow from significant damage or partial removal. This unique ability is crucial for maintaining its diverse functions, including detoxification, metabolism, and protein synthesis. What model pioneered personal computing in the 1980s, selling over 20 million of its, then huge, 64K memory machines? Commodore 64. The Commodore 64, introduced in 1982, was an 8-bit home computer that became the best-selling single computer model of all time. It played a pivotal role in popularizing personal computing and home gaming during the 1980s, making technology accessible to millions worldwide. Name the passenger vehicle famously lost with 36 fatalities on the 6th of May 1937 at New Jersey, US. Hindenburg. The Hindenburg disaster occurred on May 6, 1937, when the German passenger airship LZ-129 Hindenburg caught fire and was destroyed during its attempt to dock in New Jersey. This catastrophic event, resulting in 36 fatalities, effectively marked the end of the airship era for passenger travel. What instrument most commonly features in the logos of National Postal Services? Post horn. The post horn is a traditional valveless brass instrument historically used by post riders to announce their arrival and departure. Its association with mail delivery and communication has led to its widespread adoption as an iconic symbol in the logos of many national postal services globally. Protected Geographical Status (PGS) is an EU legal framework to protect the names of regional foods, drinks. Protected Geographical Status (PGS) is a legal framework established by the European Union to safeguard the names of specific products originating from a particular region. This designation ensures that only products genuinely produced in that area, adhering to traditional methods, can bear the protected name, thereby preserving regional culinary heritage and preventing imitations. Chicken pox is mainly contracted from contact with children. Chicken pox is a highly contagious viral infection caused by the varicella zoster virus, primarily affecting children. Its high transmissibility through direct contact or airborne droplets means that close interaction with infected children in environments like schools or daycares is a common route of contraction. Which country had, in the early 2000s, the highest AIDS infection rate in the world? Swaziland. In the early 2000s, Swaziland, now Eswatini, faced a severe public health crisis with the highest HIV/AIDS prevalence rate globally. This posed immense challenges for its population and development, prompting significant national and international efforts to combat the epidemic through awareness, prevention, and treatment programs. Tian Tian and Yang Wang are pandas. Tian Tian and Yang Wang are two giant pandas who were on loan from China to the Royal Zoological Society of Scotland, residing at Edinburgh Zoo since 2011. Their presence is part of a global conservation breeding program for the endangered giant panda species and also represents an act of panda diplomacy. Introduced in the early 1900s, the internationally used white notation, representing the number of leading, driving, trailing wheels via a numbers and dashes system, classifies what? Steam locomotives. The white notation system, developed by Frederick Methuen White, provides a standardized method for classifying steam locomotives based on their wheel arrangement. Introduced in the early 1900s, it uses a series of numbers to denote the number of leading, driving, and trailing wheels, facilitating global communication and identification in railway engineering. The Chinese Society of Righteous and Harmonious Fists, which instigated a famous rebellion against colonial and imperial presence in Peking, now Beijing, China, were better known by what name? Boxers. The Society of Righteous and Harmonious Fists was a secret Chinese organization that initiated the Boxer Rebellion, 1899–1901. This anti-imperialist movement aimed to resist foreign economic, political, and religious influence in China, leading to a siege of foreign legations in Beijing before its suppression by an international alliance. Name Shanghai's financial area and China's commercial hub, literally meaning East Bank. Pudong. Pudong is a district in Shanghai, China, situated on the eastern bank of the Huangpu River. It has transformed into a major financial and commercial center, recognized for its modern skyline, including iconic structures like the Oriental Pearl TV Tower and Shanghai Tower, making it a symbol of China's rapid economic development. Which country's leader, Cristina Fernández de Kirchner, announced in 2012 the effective nationalization of local oil assets owned by Spanish corporation Repsol? Argentina. In 2012, Argentina, under President Cristina Fernández de Kirchner, nationalized YPF, its largest oil company, by expropriating a controlling stake from Spain's Repsol. This controversial decision aimed to regain state control over vital energy resources and reduce reliance on foreign companies, sparking debates on economic sovereignty and international investment. SNCF is the state railway group of which country? France. SNCF, or Société Nationale des Chemins de Fer Français, National Society of French Railways, is France's state-owned railway company. It operates the national railway network, including its renowned high-speed TGV services, and plays a crucial role in both passenger and freight transport across France and Europe. Which controversial publisher of unauthorized secret information hosted a new Russian TV show in spring 2012? Julian Assange. Julian Assange is the founder of WikiLeaks, a non-profit organization dedicated to publishing submissions of secret information and classified media. His actions have significant implications for international relations, freedom of the press, and digital security, making him a notable figure in contemporary global affairs. To which country did Amazon move its European headquarters in 2006? Luxembourg. Luxembourg is a popular choice for multinational corporations like Amazon due to its favorable tax policies and stable regulatory environment within the European Union. This strategic decision allows companies to centralize their European operations and optimize tax structures, impacting global economic dynamics. Taking silk is an informal term for attaining what prestigious grade within the legal profession? Queen's Counsel, QC. A Queen's Counsel, QC, is a senior barrister or advocate in Commonwealth realms, appointed by the Crown based on their expertise and experience. The term, taking silk, refers to their formal appointment and the privilege of wearing a silk gown, signifying their elevated status and leadership role in legal proceedings. What significant territory did President Richard Nixon call by telephone on July 20, 1969? The Moon. On July 20, 1969, President Richard Nixon made a historic call to Apollo 11 astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, who had just landed on the Moon. This symbolic conversation marked a monumental human achievement in space exploration and highlighted the technological prowess of the United States during the space race. Bratwurst is a greatly varying German food primarily made of what? Meat. Bratwurst is a type of German sausage typically made from pork, beef, or veal. Its name derives from Old High German, brat, finely chopped meat, and Wurst, sausage, reflecting its main ingredient. There are numerous regional varieties across Germany, each with unique spices and preparation methods. Jurisprudence is the theory or philosophy of what? Law. Jurisprudence refers to the theoretical and philosophical study of law. It seeks to understand the nature of law, legal reasoning, legal systems, and legal institutions. Key areas include natural law, legal positivism, and legal realism, which offer different perspectives on the origins and validity of legal norms. Hypernatremia is an unhelpful reduction of what element in human blood serum? Sodium. Hypernatremia is a condition characterized by abnormally low levels of sodium in the blood. Sodium is an essential electrolyte that helps regulate the balance of water in and around cells. Severe hypernatremia can lead to symptoms like nausea, confusion, seizures, and in extreme cases, coma or death. What creature is on the mission insignia or badge of the first moon landing, Apollo 11? Eagle. The mission insignia for Apollo 11, the first crewed lunar landing mission, prominently features an eagle. This symbolizes the lunar module, which was named Eagle. The eagle is shown landing on the moon, carrying an olive branch in its talons, representing a peaceful lunar exploration. About 5 million tons of debris from which 2011 event was estimated to wash onto Western Canadian and US shores in 2012-13. Japan's tsunami, earthquake. An estimated 5 million tons of debris from the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami in Japan washed ashore on Western Canadian and US coasts in 2012-2013. The massive earthquake triggered a devastating tsunami, sweeping vast quantities of materials into the Pacific Ocean. This event highlighted the far-reaching environmental impact of natural disasters and the challenge of managing marine debris. Canadian psychiatrist Eric Berne, 1910-70, founded which psychotherapeutic, psychological methodology? Transactional analysis. Canadian psychiatrist Eric Berne founded transactional analysis, TA, a psychotherapeutic approach developed in the 1950s. TA focuses on analyzing social interactions, transactions, to understand ego states, parent, adult, child, communication patterns, and underlying psychological games. It aims to improve communication and personal autonomy. What anachronistic word was proposed for removal from titles in an official 2012 review of the UK state honours system? Empire. In a 2012 official review of the UK state honours system, the word empire was proposed for removal from titles such as the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire. This suggestion aimed to modernize the honours system and address sensitivities regarding its historical colonial connotations. The term was considered anachronistic in a post-colonial era. Robert Louis Stevenson's 1886 classic horror novel about split personality is called what? The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Robert Louis Stevenson's 1886 classic horror novel about split personality is titled, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. The novella explores the duality of human nature, depicting the respectable Dr. Jekyll's struggle to control his evil alter ego, Mr. Hyde. It remains a seminal work in psychological horror and has profoundly influenced popular culture. Erected in 1989, what large geometric glass structure serves as the main entrance to the Louvre Museum in Paris? Pyramid. The large geometric glass structure serving as the main entrance to the Louvre Museum in Paris, erected in 1989, is the Louvre Pyramid. Designed by architect I.M. Pei, the pyramid is a striking modernist addition to the historic museum complex. It serves as a central reception area and an iconic symbol of the Louvre, blending ancient and contemporary aesthetics. At its nearest, the Moon is roughly how many thousands of miles from Earth? 222. The Moon's orbit around Earth is elliptical, meaning its distance varies. At its closest point, known as perigee, the Moon is approximately 222,000 miles, 357,000 kilometers, from Earth. This orbital characteristic influences phenomena such as tides and the apparent size of the Moon. Roots of the dandelion plant can be used to make a drink very like what? Coffee. Dandelion roots, when roasted and ground, can be brewed into a beverage that closely resembles coffee. This caffeine-free alternative has been historically used as a coffee substitute and is also valued in traditional medicine for its potential health benefits. CV is the International Vehicle Registration Code of which island nation? Cape Verde. International Vehicle Registration Codes are country-specific abbreviations used on motor vehicles for identification in international traffic. CV stands for Cape Verde, an island nation situated off the west coast of Africa, known for its distinct Creole culture and volcanic landscape. Chittagong Beach in Bangladesh is famous for what? Shipbreaking. Chittagong, now Chattogram, in Bangladesh is globally recognized for its extensive shipbreaking industry along its coastline. This sector involves dismantling old vessels for scrap metal and reusable components, playing a significant role in the local economy despite raising considerable environmental and labor safety concerns. Who was the last English monarch to win the throne on the battlefield? Henry VII. Henry VII was the last English monarch to secure the throne through a direct victory on the battlefield. His triumph at the Battle of Bosworth Field in 1485, where he defeated Richard III, effectively concluded the Wars of the Roses and established the Tudor dynasty. In classical painting, a putto, plural putti, is a baby what? Angel. In classical painting and sculpture, a putto, plural putti, refers to a cherubic, often winged, nude infant figure. These figures are a common motif in Renaissance and Baroque art, symbolizing innocence, love, or even divine presence. The Russian Sukhoi company is famous for making what? Aircraft. The Sukhoi company is a prominent Russian aerospace manufacturer, primarily renowned for its design and production of advanced military aircraft. It is a leading entity in Russia's defense industry, responsible for numerous iconic fighter jets and bombers. What was the previous brand name of the Nissan Automotive Corporation? Datsun. Datsun was the primary brand name used by the Nissan Motor Corporation for its vehicles, particularly those exported, from 1931 until 1986. The brand was phased out to unify global marketing efforts under the Nissan name, though it has seen a limited revival in some markets. As of 2012, how many member states comprised the European Union? 27. The European Union is an economic and political union of primarily European countries. The number of member states has fluctuated over time due to accessions and withdrawals. In 2012, prior to Croatia's accession in 2013 and the UK's departure, the EU indeed consisted of 27 member states. To which country does the mariachi musical style and band belong? Mexico. Mariachi is a traditional Mexican musical genre that originated in Jalisco in the 18th century. It is characterized by ensembles featuring instruments such as violins, trumpets, guitars, vihuelas, and guitarrones, and is a significant element of Mexican cultural identity and celebrations. Name the Bosnian Serb army commander tried at The Hague in 2012 for war crimes committed against Bosnia between 1992 to 1995. Ratko Mladic. Ratko Mladic was a Bosnian Serb general who commanded the army of Republika Srpska during the Bosnian War. He was indicted by the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia, ICTY, for war crimes, crimes against humanity, and genocide, and was eventually convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment in 2017. What Latin term literally refers to a writer's or composer's great work? Magnum opus. Magnum opus is a Latin term that translates to great work. It is used in English to denote the largest, most important, or best artistic, literary, or musical work produced by an artist, writer, or composer, often considered their masterpiece. Beyond the number 5, prime numbers can only end in which 4 digits? 1, 3, 7, 9. A prime number is a natural number greater than 1 that has no positive divisors other than 1 and itself. All prime numbers larger than 5 must end in 1, 3, 7, or 9 because any number ending in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8 is divisible by 2, and any number ending in 5 is divisible by 5.